my loves, my manifestors. I intend and affirm you guys are doing well and doing exactly what you should be doing to manifest the life of your dreams. I affirm that you guys are all aware of whatever you're allowing in your awareness, because that is fundamental to conscious creation. And of course, I affirm that you guys are all safe and healthy. Before I jump in, I'm a mindset and manifestation coach. You may also call me a life coach. And if you think you could do with some guidance with regard to your manifestations, your specific manifestations, or on your journey as a conscious creator, please get in touch with me. My email ID is in the description box below. Okay, I was sleeping all day. I got my first jab, and but then I felt like, let me shoot something because I want to talk about something. I'll keep this real quick. Persistent assumption will harden itself into a fact. Persistent assumption of anything will harden itself into a fact. Neville's words, obviously. Now, what does that mean? Whatever you assume is getting reflected in your current 3D reality. Everything. Which means everybody talks about it. Everybody talks about it in the conscious creation community. But I haven't really heard anyone apart from Kim, obviously. I really loved her video on this. Nobody really talks about exactly how to reach there, exactly how to assume that, okay? Now, however, I feel that it's just not about practicing your affirmations, or it's just not about trying to feel them, or like doing your visualization techniques or sats or anything. It's just not about that. Your assumption, you creating a new assumption, is just not about doing these techniques. Yes, of course, they are extremely important because they keep you in focus and in line. They're extremely important. I'm not undermining them at all, because I have been doing this for a while now. However, there is one thing that you really need to understand here is, we have all these conditionings inside us, the beliefs, the thought patterns, the inner knowings, which are probably not in sync with whatever we are choosing to create in our reality, and our belief system, which needs to change somewhat to make us or help us assume what we wish to assume. I'll repeat this. We probably have a set of beliefs and thoughts, okay, over the years, which have been we have kind of practiced them over the years, over and over and over again. And suddenly I ask you to affirm a few things. So what about those inner beliefs? So if it's about your SP, because that's the most glaring thing that I have to address every day. So if you're assuming that, yes, my SP loves me, yes, he calls me every day, yes, he does this for me, yes, he takes me out on dates and stuff like that, but your inner knowing, your inner belief system is of somebody who does not feel worthy of that love or that attention, then you know what? You will probably manifest the SP, but I don't think you can keep it, because I have seen people, trust me, I actually have, who have manifested the best versions of their SPs, but they could not keep them because of a very poor self-worth and self-concept, which primarily means, as always, that it is always about you. So what do you do to exactly assume the state of the wish fulfilled? First, I'm not asking you to really, dig deep and try and figure out each and every block and negative thought pattern that you have. You don't have to do any of that. You just have to align yourself. I know this word comes from the law of attraction community, but you just have to okay, if you don't like the word align, you just have to practice stepping into a reality where you are the version who has what you are choosing to create, or choosing to manifest rather. which means, like, if you are trying to manifest an SP, a new SP, anybody, a new relationship, whatever, what you can do is you just see yourself, practice it. It will need practice, obviously, because you're just new into this. You be the version your SP loves, adores, and absolutely cherishes. You have to be that version. Okay? Like, it's like you be the version. How would you feel? How would you feel if you would be loved that way? The way you want to be loved. How would you feel? How would you feel? Think about it. How would you feel when your SP would kind of hold you and give you a hug? How would you feel? What is that feeling? That feeling. So trust me, it's not about them. It's about you holding that feeling. So how do you do that? Through practice. Now, I'm not saying something very new today, but then, you will only start assuming it. It will only kind of sink in when you keep on practicing it. It's very important. The practice is important for you to create that assumption. So it's not about, I'm not very comfortable with the affirmation. So I never give it to my clients, like, okay, he's calling me, he loves me, he is doing this for me, he's doing that for me. And that's not me. I mean, that's not how I function. So I would ideally focus on myself. So what is the version of me who's got it? How would that version operate? How would that version feel? Assume it. Like, how would I feel when I actually have that money in my account? How would I feel when clients are booking coaching with me every day? What is that feeling like? I mean, how excited would I feel when I talk to you guys, on a daily basis? And it's so exhilarating for me when I kind of, talk to you guys and you actually tell me, like, okay, I speak to you and I feel so empowered. So that's the feeling, okay? That is the feeling. So how would you feel? It takes practice, guys. It's not about he is calling me, he is texting me, he loves me, he is doing this for me, or she is doing that for me. Okay, she has, whatever. It's not about them. You be the version, they will conform. You be the version, they will conform. So if I am like, okay, like, of course I am the goddess here. And I do not mean it in a derogatory way at all. Of course, you will have to value yourself enough. I understand the human goof-ups once in a while. But trust me, I've seen people who have actually manifested the love of their lives after years of effort, but they could not keep them because they were not feeling that they deserve it. I've seen it. They lost it because they felt that they do not deserve it. So how would you feel? Make it about you. Assume, practice, affirm, visualize, do everything. Practice the feeling of knowing that it is done, of knowing that this person is yours, of knowing that this person loves you, of knowing that you mean the world to this person, of knowing that this person is all about love and care, of knowing that this person actually holds you in value. Practice that knowing. Take that feeling inside you. Feel it. Try and feel it. And trust me, the more you affirm, intentionally affirm, not vain affirming. I am not a person who believes in vain affirming. I don't. When you intentionally affirm, after a point, you will catch that feeling. It has to happen. There is no other way. It has to happen. Because trust me, your thoughts are creating 24/7. Your thoughts are creating 24/7. So why would you focus on he's calling me, she is calling me, she's texting me all the time, she's telling me that she loves me? No. We are talking about a proper relationship here. We are, as Kim says it, Kim Velez, Like, we are not talking about people who are like, yeah, coming and going away. It's not that. I am not talking about those kind of relationships. This kind of sounds like an SP video, but then who cares? It's okay. It's applicable in all your manifestations. So your SP is a version of you. You have to own that version of you who has that SP, which means you have to assume that you are the person who is, let me repeat this twice. You have to assume that you are the person who is deserving of that love. You have to assume that you are the person who is deserving of that love. Because if you think that this is something you do not deserve, which happens most of the times, I see this every day. I have experienced this myself, so I can tell you what will happen is, myself as in I've seen people who were not clients but this happened to them. If you do not believe that you deserve it, you will not be able to keep it. You will probably manifest it, but I do not talk about relationships which just come and go. I talk about relationships which are like strong, stable, mutually loving, and where you kind of build each other up and you kind of you're constantly there for each other with a lot of love, affection, and support. That is the kind of relationship I'm talking about. So if you're trying to build up that relationship, how would you assume it? How would you feel when that person has already confessed his love to you? How would you feel when you are actually in that relationship? How would you feel when you are actually manifesting this? Okay, I'll make this easier for you. How would you feel when you know that you're trying to manifest this? Trying is not a word I like, but then whatever. You know that you're trying to manifest this. How would you feel the moment you manifest it? How would you feel when you're actually with that person? How would you feel when you actually wake up next to that person, knowing that the person loves you? This is completely from Kim. Okay, so how would you feel knowing that the person you love actually loves you and you are in a relationship, in a committed relationship together? What would your thoughts be like? What would you assume? What is the kind of music you would listen to? Where would you both go out for dinner? What would you kind of watch on TV before going off to sleep? You know? What would your usual chatter be like? How would you react when he or she came back from work? Get into that state. By state I mean assume, get into that feeling, visualize if required, and how would you feel? What is that feeling? Assume it. Assume that it is true. Assume that yes, this is it. I know, yes, of course, the doubts will creep in because of it will creep in because we are having a human experience. But if you dominantly hold that state, I can stake everything I have on this. If you dominantly hold that state, you will manifest that person. And I don't mean manifest that person, I mean you will manifest that relationship in your life. You will do it. I mean, it's a given. You will manifest that relationship in your life. So it's, how do you assume it? Sorry. You assume it by practicing it. How do you practice it? You can do it through affirming, but you have to get into that state of the person who already has that desire. Even if you cannot hold the state for very long, at least try and hold the state for as long as you can. Of being loved, of being cherished, of being cared for, of being supported, of being completely being felt like the best version of love that somebody can experience. Yeah. So, and that is precisely why I ask you guys to work on your self-concept and self-worth, because you know what happens is, if you do not value yourself, when something comes to you which is really valuable, you will feel that you don't deserve it, and then you will lose it. So valuing yourself, your self-concept, your self-worth is extremely important. No matter what anybody tells you, I am not here to kind of manifest a call or a text from a person. I don't believe in that. I mean, that's not how I function. I am here for solid relationships. And I don't mean just love relationships. It could be a friendship, it could be a relationship with a family member, a sibling, anything. So think about it. How do you assume? You assume. People will say, okay, just assume. How do you assume? You assume by practicing that feeling over and over and over again of you having your desire. Let me repeat this before I sign off. It's already 16 minutes. How do you assume something? How do you persistently assume? By practicing the feeling, which will come through your thoughts and affirmations. By practicing the feeling of having your desire and looping it and practicing it again and again and again. That is exactly how you create a strong assumption. It is about you, so make all your affirmations about you. You can affirm about them, that's your choice, but mostly, primarily, make it about you. Like the best affirmation, if it's about an SP, an old or a new one, doesn't matter. Like, I am in the perfect committed relationship. My life is so perfect right now. All my desires have come into reality. All that I had desired have come into reality, and I feel so blessed. I intend this helps you. I know this is long, but yeah, I mean, whatever. I intend this really helps you understand how to assume the state of the wish fulfilled. It's through practice and going into that state till it becomes your dominant state in your mind. And of course, keep practicing your self-concept and self-worth affirmations. Keep doing that. Never ever forget that. Ever, ever. Thank you guys for watching. I'm tired. Okay. And yeah, do not forget your self-concept affirmations. I think I've already said that. And do not ever, for the love of God, ever give up on anything that you truly desire. Happy manifesting. Bye.